Today, as we look at Jeremiah 33, let's set the religious context and the historical context. We've talked about the religious context in the past, and this is really throughout the Bible. There's two key covenants. God wants to give full blessings to all of Abraham's children, and God has covenantally obligated himself for all eternity to make those blessings freely available to anybody who chooses to receive them. And then how he wants us to show our love and loyalty to him is first revealed in the Mosaic Covenant at Mount Sinai. The Ten Commandments are essentially a list of how God wants us to show covenantal loyalty to him and to our fellow brothers and sisters. Now we know that in Israelite and Judean history that people struggle to do this. They ended up not being kind to one another. They ended up not being loyal to God or to one another. And so God allowed, now here's the historical context, the great kingdoms of those days, the Egyptians and the Babylonians, the Assyrians, to come in and cause all sorts of chaos, or basically to take advantage of the chaos that was going on within the kingdom of Judah. So here's Jeremiah. At this point, it seems that the Babylonians have surrounded Jerusalem, and there's some famine in the land, and Jeremiah is telling people, we find ourselves in this problem because we were unfaithful to God. You people were worshiping other gods, including the gods of the Babylonians. Therefore, God's allowing the Babylonians to come extract you from his land and take you to their land. And yet, even in all this doom and gloom that Jeremiah taught, there still is a sense of hope and restoration. So the doom and gloom is verses, say 1 to 5, or verses 1 to 5. But in verses 6 to 9, you see that God is speaking through Jeremiah to tell the people, I still want to be your God. I want you to be my people. And even though I have to send you away for a time, I want you back. Verse 8, and I will cleanse them from all their iniquity, whereby they have sinned against me, and I will pardon all their iniquities, whereby they have sinned and whereby they have transgressed against me. This is incredible. God, for hundreds of years, has watched as the Israelites have persistently cheated on him, have been unfaithful to him, and yet he's saying, I really am deeply committed to Abraham's posterity. I really, really want to offer these incredible blessings to all of Abraham's posterity, so I'm going to try again. Even though for a small time, I have to send you guys away and let you experience, well, the consequences of your choices. And as we know, eventually, the Jews were taken into captivity in Babylon. Let me read one more verse about restoration. Let's take a look at verses 15 and 16. In those days, and at that time, will I cause the branch of righteousness to grow up unto David, and he shall execute judgment and righteousness in the land. In those days shall Judah be saved, and Jerusalem shall dwell safely. And this is the name wherewith she shall be called, the Lord our righteousness. So God now is speaking to Jeremiah about future days when the full restoration in Zion is happening, and Jerusalem will be redeemed, and Jesus will reign there as the rightful Messianic Davidic king. And I love how God, through Jeremiah, does not simply conclude on a note of foreboding and death and destruction, but saying there is a larger plan here. And even though certain generations of people may find themselves falling away from the covenant because of their choices, my everlasting covenant never goes away. My faithfulness, my loyalty never goes away. It's always available for anybody who chooses to be in league with me, to be in relationship with me. And that's the promise and blessing that we all have access to today. We all can have God's full presence if we choose to have him in our lives.